Hulkbuster Iron Man has met his match. Welcome everybody, this is my review of the Marvel Universe World War Hulk figure. And I have to say, what an awesome figure. It's fantastic. And if up until now, the Marvel Universe line has kind of been a joke, in all honesty. It's kind of been second fiddle to the Marvel Legends line. But I have to say, this figure has renewed my faith in the Marvel Universe line of figures. This has to be the prime example as to why you should give the Marvel Universe figures a second chance. This is very nicely detailed. It's just cool. And I probably would not have picked it up if not for the fact that it actually has a very nice kind of medieval gladiator look to it. I really like that look in my figures. And of course it has a sword and an axe, so I couldn't pass that up either. So fantastic figure. The detail is incredible on this. I don't know, you can see here if you can make out like the wrinkles or the scarring on his chest there. You know, it's on the back as well. Just fantastic detail. Kind of shows that he's been through a lot of battles. He's, you know, very nicely detailed. Even if you look at his fingernails, that detail has been added, and it's very, very much present. It's really cool. Also, if you look at the toes, the same amount of detail is present as well there, as you can see. So this amount of detail is incredible, and it also extends to the accessories. As you can see here, he's got a nice shield, and it's got some scoring marks where some weapons have been, you know, clashed against the shield there. So very nice detail there. And also his harness here for his upper torso. You can see here, as far as you know, it's not removable, but it does have quite a bit of detail. I like his shoulder guard here. It too has some scoring there, as you can see. So fantastic detail there. And as far as the accessories go, he does have a sword, and it does stay in the sheath quite nicely, as you can see there. So that is cool. So looking at the sword, there is a fantastic amount of detail there as well. You can see there's scoring marks on the blade, and just a very nice paint apps as well. So nice to see that. And the axe itself is very nice. It also has very nice detail, very nice battle damage to it, or age, kind of age to it. So very nice. Now, as far as how the weapons fit in the hands, the axe doesn't quite fit as well as the sword does, just for the fact that, as you can see, it tends to drop down to this point where his hands are brushing up against the actual axe head, which is not really how you're supposed to wield the weapon. You can kind of get it so if you kind of pose it like this over his shoulder, you can kind of get it into a more natural look. But it's rather loose, and it's the same thing on the other hand. It's just it kind of slips through the grasp of his hands too easily, as you can see there. Now with the sword, the hilt, it is kind of loose in the figure's hands, but it's not quite as much of a problem with the sword because it looks more natural. Even though it slips down a little bit, it's, you know, still quite natural to hold it just below the guard there. So just kind of a observation there. It does come with this stand, as you can see. Now, as far as articulation goes, his head, it does slightly rotate at this bottom joint there, if you will. I don't know if you can see that, but it kind of moves just a little bit. But really where most of the articulation takes place is where the neck meets the head, as you can see there. So you can look side to side, and just, you know, you can see how he can nod his head if you move it. So he does have a range of articulation. There's actually a hinge back there underneath the back of his, you can kind of see it there. Anyhow, arm or shoulder articulation. The nice thing about the shoulders is the joint is underneath it's kind of where the armpit is. So you do have some movement like that. Of course, it rotates around 360, maybe, yeah. It does, and then you got a swivel at the bicep, which I always like in figures. As you can see there, it swivels at the upper arm. And speaking of detail, I absolutely love the detail in this plate armor. I just love the rivets. You can see the rivets. You can see how it's not just a silver, but it's got some sort of brown to it, like it's worn through age. So that's just fantastic to see that amount of detail. And of course, the wrist swivels as well. And he has ab articulation, as you can see there. It's quite loose. And waist articulation, he can go 360, as you can see. That also is loose as well. As far as the way the legs are attached to the pelvic area, well, it's not really a ball joint, but I'll show you on this leg because it's easier to show you. This leg, for some reason, doesn't quite go out and articulate as much, but you can, move the leg forward like that and out kind of at an angle like that. So you've also got a cut at the thigh area, so you can swivel that independent of the rest. It's kind of stiff now, but it does, you can see the line there where the cut is. And there are double jointed knees. Whoa, that fell off there. Oh, I guess it is a ball joint. That answered my question there. Let's pop this thing back on. Yeah, but there's a double jointed knee there. And then if you look at the feet, you got a swivel and a hinge joint, so you can go like this as well as rotate around. So a couple more observations about the figure. Well, the harness here, as you can see, is quite loose. It kind of rides up on his shoulders there. So it would have been nice maybe to have something that pegs in the back so it's more securely fastened to the figure, but all in all, it has an incredible amount of detail, so I'm not going to complain too much about that, as well as the belt and the loincloth here. It is also kind of loose as well, but again, it has an incredible amount of detail, so I can forgive a lot for that. Standing at about 5 inches tall, the World War Hulk figure is a tall and imposing figure. As you can see, he's compared next to Hulkbuster Iron Man, as well as another Iron Man 2 figure, and a Star Wars Clone Wars figure. So final verdict on Marvel Universe World War Hulk. I say buy it. It's a nice figure. Incredible amount of detail. I like the fact, personally, that it has 2 weapons. You got the sword, you got the blade. I like the theme of the Hulk figure. Like I said before, I probably would not have gotten the figure if it didn't have the kind of gladiator look to it with the weapons. But just incredible amount of detail, and the the skin, the weaponry, the armor. It's a fantastic figure for what it is. I got it at a Fred Meyer's for around $9. I probably could have got it for cheaper if I looked elsewhere, but that's the only place I saw it, so I decided to pick it up. And it was well worth it. A fantastic figure. And like I said before, this could be like the poster boy figure for the renewed, refreshed, revitalized Marvel Universe line. I absolutely love this figure. I was thinking about getting the Thor figure, but when I saw the way that the face was sculpted, it looked kind of goofy to me, so I didn't pick that one up. But I'll keep my eye out for other ones. But fantastic figure. The way I collect action figures is different from the way I collect Transformers in a sense. I don't feel like I have to go out and get every one in the line. I buy what I like, and particularly with action figures. So I may or may not get more of these, I don't know. Just kind of depends on what strikes my fancy. Alright, well, this has been my review of the Marvel Universe World War Hulk figure. Thanks for watching.